Hello everybody, it's Megan Bayliss from the Junk Weavers here, and I'm talking to you from my home in Cairns, Australia. Today I'm going to show you how to do a flat bottom on a small item. Now the flat bottoms are used to build flat bottom bags, but this particular design is used to build bags from the side. So you make two flat sides and they come together to create a bag. Very, very nice, very stylish. It's high fashion. Today we're not making a bag though. We're going to start this on a small project. So I'm actually going to show you how to make a flat bottomed drink cooler. Now in Australia, lots of people drink beer and they have something called Stubby coolers. The Stubby cooler insulates the beer and keeps it nice and cold. We sell quite a few of our Stubby coolers for beer drinkers, but we also sell them for people who want to keep their refillable water bottles cooler, or wine holders, whatever. Just to demonstrate, I've got my herbal bottle here, and this will fit nicely over the bottom of the herbal bottle, so I know that when I finish this Stubby cooler, it will fit onto this. Let's begin. You are going to need to have 5 rings, so this is 5 rows that have already been joined into rings, and they must be 24 long. So there's 24 pieces of material in this. Now the reason it has to be 24 is because the flat bottom bags or the flat bottom Stubby coolers will only ever work with a number that is evenly divisible by 8. So that means if you go to your 8 times table, and any of the 8 times table is a number that you can do flat bottoms with. So 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, you get the gist. For a Stubby cooler or a drink bottle cooler, you need to have 24. That is the standard size small bottle that goes into these Stubby coolers. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows already done, already joined of 24. Now to learn how to weave and to learn how to join, please have a look at our previous videos because everything is there. Right, so that's those ones that we need. You're also going to need some dental floss. My preference for dental floss is the Oral-B, and I buy it by the 100 meters. I like the Oral-B because it doesn't shred. It's really, really strong. But more importantly, I can do 8 sew weaving at a time, and it doesn't rip through any thin plastic. You're going to need a small stick, paddle pop stick, to join your rows together, and you are going to need to have 20 other pieces. So these pieces aren't constructed yet, and they are going to make up the bottom of my Stubby cooler. This here is a bottom of a Stubby cooler that I have already completed, and we'll be talking a little bit more about this shortly. All right, so for now, let's begin. Oh, the other thing that you're going to need, of course, is a bobbin. We recycle everything. We are a recyclable craft organisation, and we do everything we can to keep plastic out of ocean and landfill. So this is made from, our little bobbin here, is made from recycled milk bottle plastic, and you just sew the dental floss onto the end of it and it brings your bag together. So we've got 20 constructed pieces. Let's begin with the silver one. Now you can go back and check all of the methods of weaving. It's all there in previous videos, but of course I'm starting with the busy side toward me, busy side up for the next one, and I'm going to do my very first join. So this is as per normal to make a square bottom. All right. And now I'm going to start making a square immediately. I've already got a blue one. We'll use a green one here. The reason I'm using different colors is just to help you see. Now, normally we would go that way to start creating our zigzag, but we're making a square. So we're actually going to go the opposite way. I have the messy side up as per normal, and I just slip it in here. Now, remember, if you get frustrated doing this, never, ever throw scissors. That is a really dreadful thing to do. I've seen it many times in my workshops. It is not acceptable. It's very bad behavior. Okay, so you can see that we've started to make a little square, But now I have to join this square to make it sit nicely, because I want the square to look like that. You can see the different little squares here. Makes up one big square that then becomes the middle of the bottom of our stubby cooler. Okay, so I need to have another one. Let's go for a red this time, because that will make it really easy to see. Now, let's put the red in, little arms in there. Little arms in, there you are, my sweet cherub. Now, take note here that I have got arms going either side of the very first silver one that I started working with. All right, so in it goes like that. Now, these little arms here are bothering me a bit. I want them to be nice and straight and sit in the middle, because that's going to make it a bit difficult to join. All right, so you can see what's happened here. We have got a nice little square. Just push this little arm back in. Now remember, this can be a bit tricky and a bit frustrating, but the end result is worth it. So now we join. And you all know that to join, you take out the arm of the last one that you've just done. You find the dead set middle of this first one. Now, this can be tricky, girls, but stay with it. All right, let's put this in here. Come on, in you go, my little cherub. Down you go, down you go, down you go. That's it. I'm going to straight up use my stick because it is fiddly, and I need to get these little legs back into the place where they came from. So this is exactly the same joining process, whoops, as when you are joining a bangle or a row for a bag. There you go, it's in. I can feel that. That's nice. Is it? Yes, it is. Of course it is. Megan, trust your instincts. Okay, now we'll do the other one. So we pull the arm out, and same thing, you find the dead center, and then using the stick, now you can see where my stick is poked through there, and I'm sliding it into the space where I need my little arms to go, and I just slide it down. I can feel that that's stuck on something there. Okay, that's better. It's going in now. And now I'm going to really push on it to convince it to go all the way into the spot where I want it to be. Now see, I can see the red here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I can see the red there. It's not going in. It's caught, which means that this is not quite straight there. In you go, my little friend. All right, come on. That's it. Now when you make notes, see, it's still there. It's stuck. So what I'll do is I'll pull this out, and I'm now going to arrowhead this corner. So I'll just arrowhead it over. And now let's try it again. And this one should then go in, theoretically, it should go in very, very nicely. Come on, my little friend. It's actually great making the live videos, because you can see that sometimes I struggle with it as well, and that sometimes it doesn't quite come together as it's supposed to. This is a normal process, but what you will also see me never ever doing is throwing scissors when I'm frustrated. I just manage my emotion, I work out what the problem is, and I deal with it like an adult. Okay, so there's our very first square. It's all joined. You can see the 4 different colours there. This is a nice way to demonstrate it with the different colours. That is now going to become the absolute middle of our stubby cooler. So that's the first square. Now, for the next process, we are going to build a square that goes around it. So we start it in exactly the same way. Let's get a blue one to start with. Then we'll go to a pink one. All right, so it's the busy side first. Slide this one in. Slide it in. Now you can make these really quickly too, because you've only got 5 rows of 24, and then you've got 24 on the bottom as well. Let's have a green one now. And I'm going to do this as per normal. We're doing a few zigzags. We'll do 3 zigzags to begin with. In you go, my little darling heart. That's it. Now what I do all the time is I check against this. So what we're actually doing is we're going to build another square up here, a square here, a square here, and a square over here. So this automatically tells me that I'm now in a position where I have to start building a square here. So let's now, we'll use a brown one. Oh, but remember, I cannot add to that, so I have to do it this way. You never ever add to the first one that you started with. So I'll be adding to my little barcode here. We're going to go up, so we are still zigzagging. There we are. In you go. Thank you very much. And now we do another one across this way. Right, always checking as you're going to make sure that you're in the right position. Okay, so here we'll go this way. Come on, in you go, my little friend. There you are. And now you can see that we need to come down this way. So we're going backwards now rather than doing a zag for our zig. We're going completely in the opposite direction. Come on, my little friend. All right. There we are. And that is our first square that will be sitting atop the middle square. So now we continue along. We do another one. So now we get to go for a zag. We put a zag into our zig here. Come across here. Come across here, my little friend. Over you come. That's it. Come on, over you come. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look, voila. That's one side of our square done. Now, I often get asked by beginners, is this normal? Yes, that's absolutely normal. And when we sew our squares together, this also gets a stitch in it. So I'll be putting, my bobbin will come up through there and then over to there, and it holds it together. All right, let's continue. Let's not waste any time. So now I can tell by this that I have to come down here because I need to build the square on the side now. In you go, my little friend. Here we are. And now check again. I tend to check all the time as I'm doing this, just to make sure that I'm not being too creative and I'm not going the wrong way. But you might be a person who holds the vision in your heads and you just know exactly the way that you're going to go. Or you might be a person that works with numbers and you know you can work out exactly how many little links you are supposed to have before you turn. Everybody does it differently. There's no right and wrong way, but what there is a way to keep plastics out of landfill and ocean, and that's what we're doing. All right, so now you can see that I've got to do another one this way and then another one that way to build my second square on the side. I'm really liking the different colours here. I think that the different colours look very attractive. When you are making drink holders, insulated drink holders, the chip packets work really well because they're alfoil lined, and of course that works well for insulating things. Also the thicker plastics, and this red is actually not alfoil lined. I'll just open it up. This red is a packet of lollies, but it's very thick plastic. So the thick plastics work equally as well for insulation because they're so thick. Wow, absolutely fantastic. You can use dog and cat food packets that are thick plastic. That's wonderful. Coffee packets, wow, they're great because they're often thick plastic and silver lined, so they're absolutely perfect. Now, I can see that I'm going to have to start going this way. So we put this back in here, and you can see I've got one square there, one square there. I now have to put this over on that side, and then I replicate this square here on that side, all right? So I hope that you're already seeing how to do this. All right, let's do this. This is also how you can make photo frames. It's exactly the same design, but rather than starting with a square in the middle, you would make a rectangle. But that is going to be the subject of another video because I'll be showing a masterclass, teaching a masterclass in Tasmania next week on how to make a rectangle bag. but we're going to first make a stubby cooler. So if there's any Taswegians who might be watching this video, you can help me out by immediately making 5 rows of 24. Remember, it has to be 24 because it has to be a number that is evenly divisible by 8. If you wanted to make yourself a wine cooler, you would simply measure this on your bottle of wine and does it need to be a bit bigger? So rather than making 24, you can't make 26 because 26 is not evenly divisible by 8. You would have to go 8, 16, 24 and make one for 32. Right, that's really, really important. Okay, back to our task at hand. This is where we are. We're now building it on the side here. So let's do this one. Yes, I do really like the multicolours. Although I'm very creative, I am not fantastic with matching colours. I often struggle to know what other people think goes together. I'm very eclectic with my colours. I like bright colours. I like bold colours. So I'm very comfortable with making the eclectic bags, I call them, with all just sorts of crazy colours all thrown in together. But other people, like Pam, one of our weavers in Cairns, she loves to do solid colours with a single row of a single colour. And then we've got Polly, who is our Madam Secretary, and she likes the solid colours as well. And she tends to sell bags, solid coloured bags, before anything else sells. So it's interesting. You need to be testing your own markets and work out what your potential customers like the best. But because I don't sell my own stuff, I don't compete with the junk weavers. I help the junk weavers. So I make things to suit myself. Now, who can tell me which way am I going here? What's going to happen? Yes, that's right, we're going this way. We're going to replicate this there. So I've got to go over here. Let's put this in here. There you go. And we are almost finished this, and I can show you how to sew it onto the bottom of the stubby cooler. So there's that one, put this back in. And now, of course, we're going to go this way because we're going to start building this final square. Okay, and I hope, oh yes, there's the other one. I was going to say, I hope I've got enough plastic. I thought I had counted correctly. Now, all I've done here is I've actually looked at, that's the messy side there, the busy side, which should be going up, but I really don't want that writing showing. I'd prefer to have the white showing. So I've just made a call that I'm going to put this one in upside down. It makes absolutely no difference to the strength or to the design feature. All it does is it makes it a little bit more difficult when I put my next one in, because I'm putting my next one into the busy side rather than the side that's really nice and neat. Right, so now you can see, right, we're almost completed, and I've got to finish off this little square here. So we have got 2 left. Let's put in the silver one, and we'll finish with the red one because red is my favorite color. I wear a lot of red and black. It just saves me making choices. But because I'm a vintage girl, I love vintage clothes. I don't buy new clothes. I go for some 1950s styles, and I will wear whatever colour they come in because I'm really very committed to making sure that we can keep things out of landfill. And in lots of the modern clothes, there's plenty of plastic in the clothes, and every time we wash them, we are actually putting plastics into our drain systems, and our drains generally go straight into ocean. It's not very good. Okay, here we go. Right, this is our final one, and of course remember that the legs go around the outside of the first one. Remember I showed you on this little square? So the legs go around the outside and you join as per normal. Look at that. Yeah, beautiful. So let's join. You take the little arm out of the last one that you did and you poke it. You find the middle here. There it is. Find the middle. Come on, my little angel face. Poke it through. There you are, my little darling. And now that one goes back to where it came from. All right. Tucks in nice and neat. Now the same with this one. We'll take the little arms out there. And now we'll put it in to the dead centre to capture those little loose little hands that are there. We never ever want to have raw material showing. Come on, my little friend. There you are. And now I will put in my stick, put it down into where I want this to go, and slide this in, and theoretically it should go nice and easily. Oh, and I think it has. Are you in? Are you in, my little friend? Yes, you are. Look at that. Voila. We have a completed base for a stubby cooler. Really nice bright colours. Obviously, this will be the side that I don't want showing, so it will go to the inside, hopefully. Now, here's 5 that I have already completed, and I've sewed them together. What we now need to do is to put a base on this. So here's a base I have also done earlier, and you will see here, I hope, that what I've done with these outside ones is that I've actually folded them in half and I've put a crease in them, because that makes it much easier to then sew each of your mountaintops into the valleys, and it comes together very, very nicely when it's all folded up. But more importantly, these little bits here, these corners, when you fold them, that actually becomes a valley. And that's what you need. Now let's count how many valleys we've got here. That's 1 valley. One valley there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We've got 12 valleys. Let's count how many mountaintops we've got here, because the mountaintops have to fit into the valley. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, we have the right number. And of course I already knew that, because it has to be equally divisible by 8 for this to work. And I had done my math. 8, 16, 24. So if I've got 24 in a row, I know that I'm going to have the right number down here as well. All right, so let's now sew this into this. All right, now just as when you're sewing together a bag and you've got male on female, so it is for this bottom as well. So here we've got a female edge. The female edge is very neat and it folds in, whereas this one is a male edge. It's got this little lump in the middle, and we need to make sure that this female edge goes to a male edge on here. So let me check. There we go. We have got a male to a female. One of the beauties of doing different colours is that you can very quickly tell if you're the right way as well, because this one bobbin goes that way, the one beside it should go the opposite way, and it does. All right, let's start by joining this somewhere. So I have said many times to people who come to my workshops that you always try and find a pale looking one to join on. And I've had a couple of questions about what's the significance of that. I pulled that through again. It's no more significant than just reducing the obviousness of your dental floss, because you can see it if you put it on a black one, I suppose. You know, the white dental floss really does stand out. Please remember that when you're tying dental floss, because dental floss is slippery, the knots don't hold really well, so you must do 3 knots. 2 knots just won't hold. Okay, so there we go. We have got that one, and now I am going to put that back on. Check again, male to female, that is correct. All right, so it's exactly the same as when you're doing any other sewing. It's the same action. So I'm going up that one, and then I'm tying it to the outer square. Whoops, what's happened here? We're just caught up there a wee bit. Bring that back through here. Whoa. Goodness me, come on, darling. There we are. Okay, so then we're back through there. Now here we've got that little split in our square. Oh, I'm really getting that tangled, aren't I? So now I'm going to go over, it's just as per normal, down the next one. Pull that tight. And that then keeps these two together. All right, now we're going to go over to this one, over to this one, down to that one, over to this one. It's just like normal sewing of a bag. Now in the States, this is called candy wrapper bags. They use lots of candies. We call candy lollies, of course. So they seem to like the candy wrappers, whereas here we are using any recyclable single-use plastic that can hold its shape. Come on, what's happened here? Just caught it over the edge. And we do it to keep single-use kitchen plastics out of ocean and landfill. Okay, and I'm back to the beginning there, all right? So I'm quite happy with that. And now I take it over to the other side, and I also do exactly the same thing on the other side. So let's very quickly do this. Let's do this over to here. So there's 4. Now remember, because I'm using the Oral-B and it is much kinder to the plastic, I can do more than 4. But if you're using the cheap dental flosses, please don't do more than 4 stitches at a time, because it is less waxed, less oily on the outside, and it will cut through your plastic. And that's horrible when you've spent hours and hours making a bag only to then start sewing it together, and you have to pull it out and put a new piece in because you have ripped your plastic. Horrible. And that has happened to me on a number of occasions. It was a steep learning curve, and I tell you, I never made that mistake again. And I notice it when I work with women in Bamana Prison in Port Moresby. If they have, look at that, that just ripped the plastic. Well, I'll be. Okay, so there you go. I created too much friction, and that's what happens. For the purpose of this video, I am going to keep going because I want to show you now how to sew this onto the stubby cooler. But this one will absolutely have to then come off, and I will need to go back and redo that, because there's no way I would sell or gift this to anybody when it's got a mistake like that in it. It just wouldn't happen. All right, I'm coming up to the side now. Whoops, come back here, my little friend. Come back here. All right. Now I have already got these bent up, and I already had matched the male to female. So there we go, right? Male to female. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start here. We're going to fit the mountaintop into the valley, put a stitch in, and then again it's normal weaving. So here, this is one of those square corners. This is interesting. So watch what happens here. Up to here. Now bending it in. Come on, my darling heart. And because I have pre-bent it, you can see how it begins to fit nicely. Look at that. There. Come on up here. And I'm getting short of dental floss, so I need to add more dental floss. Now I'm pulling it tight. On the stubby coolers, you cannot sew the inside of this row that you're doing because it is just too difficult. You can't possibly get your hand in there. That's that one there. Now I'm going to right now add some more, but you can see how that flat bottom has come together there very nicely. Let's add more dental floss. Normally I would use 3 arms lengths of dental floss because that seems to be the absolutely perfect amount for me to deal with. But for the purpose of this, I've only used 1.5 because I don't need much more to be finishing off this stubby cooler. Now here I only tie 2 knots because it's not like this has to be secure. This does eventually get cut off. But when I'm tying dental floss onto my bags, absolutely 3 knots please, so that it doesn't get loose. Now here, these ones, these 2, you just join them together. I do like to use 3 different knots on this one. So this has to be 3 knots. So let's do 1 knot like that. Beautiful. Whoops, have I got it? Come on, my little friend. Where's the other? There it is. So that's one. Oh, that's really slippery now, see? One knot. Now let's do another knot like you're tying your shoelaces. Okay. Do children still wear shoes with shoelaces to school? I guess they do. There's because joggers and runners and trainers are very, very popular. I see lots of children with them. Okay, see that's so slippery. Like that's 2 knots. That just isn't enough. Let's do another knot like this. And we'll see if that secures it. Come on, my little friend. Here we go. Okay, that's 3 knots, you see? That's nice and solid. That's not going anywhere. All right, back to the task at hand. So we're going up this one. Up there. Up there, into that one. Right, come on, darling. That's one of those corner ones. Okay, and now we're going up here. Now this knot is going to come through in a moment. Be careful with your knots too, because the knots do create friction. Right, here we go. And up into here. You can see that this is loose, it's popped. So I just need to go back and make sure that I pull this nice and tight. That's it, thank you. Thank you very much. Don't be scared to pull tight. All right, now we're going down this one and we're at one of these corners again. Come on, get that through, thank you. All right, now up here, through here. Okay, that's it. Come on, darling. Come on, my friend. That's it. Fitted in nicely there. And now up this one, down that one. Come on, my little friend. Nicely, nicely. All right. Back to here. I find this very therapeutic. I do like the weaving and the sewing of the weaving. I do it everywhere. I've always got weaving in my bag, and if I'm waiting somewhere, for example, if I'm at a cafe and I'm waiting for a cup of coffee, I pull out my weaving. It acts as wonderful marketing for the junk weavers because people become really interested. They want to know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and they ask questions about cleanliness. So I get to do a lot of education around the products that we use and why we use them. Very, very interesting. And then people ask questions like, well, why don't you use reclaimed fishing line? Because it absolutely does cut through some of the thinner plastics. Right, we're back to the beginning now. So let's do that last stitch there. Now, I only go around it the once. There's no need to keep going. And as per everything else, I then travel my string up, back up to the beginning. Up you come, my little friend. So that I can tie off. Up we come. That's it, my little friend. All the way. That's it. Up we come. All the way. Come on, darling. In you go. That's it. Okay, so now we're up to the top, and I'm simply going to go through the folds. I'm on the inside there, and look at that. There's a nice white pale one there for me to finish off on. So this is how I finish. Again, everybody is different, but I absolutely do not want my stuff coming to pieces. So I go through it 3 times. That's 1, 2, 3. And then I will go through those stitches 3 times and do a half hitch, because that's a nice strong knot as well. So that's 1 half hitch. Come on, my little friend. 1. That's 2 half hitches. And then again. This is just such a great educational activity because people get to learn so many things, even the names of knots and how to do them. It's absolutely wonderful. Okay, so there we go. That is it. I now simply tie that, cut that off close to ground zero, and voila, we have a flat-bottomed stubby cooler. So this one will come into shape. It will take a round shape as you put your bottles in it. Now I'm really unhappy with that, and I'm sorry that it's happened, but that's okay. At least you got to see what can go wrong. I'm going to pull this apart as soon as I've finished this video and fix it. So there we have it, one flat bottom. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. One stubby, great present for somebody. Stubby cooler, great present for somebody or for yourself. You can put your water bottle in there. I could put my herbal tonic in there. Not that I need to keep my herbal tonic cold, but there it is. There you have it. You now know how to make a flat bottom to go onto either a bag or a stubby cooler. So there you are. Look, guys, I really enjoy hanging out with you, but it's time for me to go out and start talking some serious garbage. So I hope that you're going to join me, and whatever you're going to do today, please keep talking garbage. Bye.